Long Bangers. I'm Matty,
Hello, I'm Colin.
and John is just about to join us, but we are live right in the back of the full-time whistle, calling a 1-0 defeat at Ibrox. Started off quite well, but in the end it was really fucking shite, wasn't it?
Aye, aye, that's about it, eh? Summed up.
Aye, summed up. Right, thanks for
Aye,
listening.
aye. The second half was terrible, eh? I mean, I'm just looking at the numbers there. I don't want to say the numbers, but they created fuck all.
Mhm.
Created fuck all. Nothing. Um, aye. The first half, I thought we started all right, actually, and then we let the goal, and once we got the goal, that was it. It was like last time, when we went through there in the cup. If we'd got the first goal, it might have been different. But
Aye, but we never looked like scoring. We had that one off the line, and the
aye,
rest of it. Just a really disappointing night. Not just for the result, but for the performance as well. Very few positives to take for it in the end.
aye.
John, uh, we're just kind of picking it up. I suppose let's go back to the very start then. We'll have a look at the starting lineups. We had three changes. We had Hanley come in, Barlaser came in, and Eli Yuan came in as well for his. I think that's his first start of the season. John, what did you make of the starting lineup?
I was alright with it. I was a wee bit surprised with seeing you in there. And then I had a wee bit, I don't know if it's such a thing as like a Freudian misreading
Hmm.
of the lineup because I saw Barlaser and I thought disaster. And that's not a reflection on his performance. It's just the way that I read the lineup. Um, aye, like the team looked fine. Like I think when I saw Hanley in there, I thought, okay, right, steady and influence at the back, Scotland Hall of Famer. Pace up front, the mercurial talent of Ili Yuan and Barlaser. I thought out of the three changes, Barlaser was maybe the most interesting out of them because he's developed, or we've given him a bit of a reputation as being a player that doesn't really perform in these games. But
Hmm.
actually, I thought he'd done reasonably well throughout the
Aye.
throughout the time that he was on the pitch.
Callum Andrews, his deja vu, three games against him, and they could all be summed up exactly the same. I think that's spot on. Callum, it's like a rerun of the other games
I
we've
just said that to you
played
before
them.
we went on there. Eh? It
Hmm.
was like almost similar to that cup game. We started off all right, and if we'd maybe got the first goal, it might have been different. But then after they got the goal, I thought this. I said to you two, didn't I, in the chat? I says this is a 2-0, and I know
Aye.
I was wrong, but it just felt like they'll just get another one, and then that'll kill it.
Can we just point out that champion and underdog said no, it could be 1-1.
Aye, aye.
Aye.
And I was hoping for that as well, even to that last corner at the end there. Send the
Forever the
keeper a quivering.
optimist.
Kieran said absolutely criminal from Gray. Five at the back is criminal. Bringing on forwards to still play five at the back. Kenny said uninspiring once again against the Ouija's. Sadly, Hearts will take goals off them Sunday. Jack said Abita, Iredale, and Boyle and Ellie Yuan all pish. Norman McQuaid said lacking conviction. Joe said, "What changes would the three you make for Dundee United game on Saturday?" Well, early to think about Saturday, Joe, but we'll come back to that one. And Stephen said, "Shite on the shite end of a narrow margins yet again against a really shite Rangers team. This could be a seismic loss come the end of the season. Yet another defeat to a side above us."
We
Colin, when
keep
you sort
saying
of
we keep saying they're shite, but they keep winning games.
Aye, that's like I think the manager will drop points in one game, hasn't he?
Aye, I think it's 8 wins and 2 draws or
He
something in the
wins two
league.
draws right close.
Something like that. Something like that. It could be one or two out
But
there, but it's
they're all games like that though, where I mean
aye,
Rangers weren't impressive in that game at all. In the
no,
second half they looked a bit better, but first half it was mental when they put the stats up at half time. It looked like they'd been running all over the top of us, and I never thought
yeah.
they were in the fucking game at all. Colin, what did you think of the lineup when you saw it?
I was surprised Johan started, and then I heard Shiv, who by the way I thought was all right in the comms,
Mhm.
uh, better than some of the other ones that have been on there over the season, I think. And she said Boyle was ill, so I think that's why he was on the bench. That probably answers that. Although Klidge's there, but then he's
Mhm.
come back for injury, so you don't know what rules they've got with the physio. So I was surprised Johan started when there's other choices there. Um, I, I think I didn't think Barlaser would come in. I thought we'd be making the sort of case to keep Chaiwa and all that,
Aye.
and then didn't start him. And so you go, but he played all right the last time. Why did we no sort of stick with what one of your strengths last year? Was sticking with what was working, and it worked against Falkirk,
Mhm.
but we changed it. But then I'm the one that keeps banging on saying horses for courses.
Aye, well, so you can't have both, eh? But
Yeah.
I didn't
I think.
realise. Sorry
Oh, John.
to interrupt. Sorry, I didn't realise that Boyle was meant to have been unwell. And
I
when
think
I
that's
read
what
the,
Shiv said. I'm sure she said that in the pre-match bit.
I don't know if it's definite. And by the way, just for clarity, when I was laughing before and talking about Shiv, I was thinking to myself, perhaps we'll see her back one day in a co-coms role, because she was good. And I thought, in regards to the lineup and not being aware that Boyle was sick, I wondered if Gray was maybe going to go with a strong team, but with a slightly stronger bench for later in the game, trying to kind of keep something on reserve.
Yeah,
Aye.
yeah,
I have to
possibly.
say, I was surprised to not see Chaiba start. I thought his performance against Falkirk at the weekend, I think he would have wanted to play him even just for the fact that we're not going to have him for a wee bit. And go and just take advantage of him while he's still here. But I thought Barlaser did all right when he was on. Fun enough, I sort of was giving him a bit of praise, and immediately after I gave him some praise,
Twice.
he gave away
That was
two
incredible, eh?
passes, but giving the commentators curses, but without being a commentator. Um, Rob Morris said they've been there for the taking all season. Mentality issue with them for some reason. Once McGrath came off, we had nothing. Moonman said another mistake from us at the back and completely blunt in the final third. Kieran said sticking at centre half up front, man, absolute rubbish. Lewis said joke of a performance. Jack said good 150th anniversary season. This is beat one top six team, rest wins against the bottom six teams. Embarrassing. J Star said definitely need a clinical finisher. Yuan shocking. So Yuan, let's talk. I thought Yuan was like had a really interesting performance, right? Because I thought he got involved, he got himself into some good positions, but he looked rusty as fucking some of his decision making and his execution made him look like a player that hadn't played an awful lot of football in the last one or two seasons. Colin, what did you make of his performance?
Frustrating. But then you've got to say he's hardly played, right? So you've got to get that. But there was a couple of times his passes weren't great, and he done better when he kept the ball. Normally I'm like, pass the fucking thing, but actually the night when he did pass it, I preferred it when he kept it because he would go past a player. A couple of times he done that. And then when he tried to pass it, didn't come off. One shot straight at the keeper, but I suppose he got in the position at least to get it away.
That's what
Um,
happens when you try and tame a stallion, though. You just need to let him run
I know.
free. Didn't make him pass.
By the way, the wee ball, I was just thinking, McGrath dinked a wee one up for him, and he just swung and missed, eh? And you go,
Aye.
fucking hell. That was the one that we needed. We just needed, like, I'd say, take a chance. We didn't create enough chances, but like the ones we did have, like, we just need one to go in. Like in one of these games, I think we're quite. I don't know if it's like when we lose one, we just go, oh, fuck. No, we're not going to win
I
now.
I don't think that I don't think the heads went down or whatever. Like I thought they have still played with a bit of confidence. I think the challenge that we had, and as others have alluded to, that it was very much like other performances where we would get the ball forward, but the final pass, like I don't think it was so much clinical finishing that was a problem. It was like the clinical pass before the finish. Like we couldn't get anyone free of a defender or put them one on one with the keeper.
Mm. Aye, there was we're poor final third, aren't we?
Mhm.
Like, but Bowie does a bit. Bowie does a power of work, but he doesn't create chances. He doesn't get in positions to score goals. You know what I mean? But he's running about a lot,
Mhm.
and it's almost like he'll come out of this game with some praise. Actually, is that his job? Like, is that what we want him to be doing?
He started
You know
winning
what I mean?
fouls again. I mean, I
Aye,
think he should
Aye.
deserve a wee round of applause for that.
he's a hard worker. I'll give him credit for that. But it's like we want him to start scoring some goals, eh?
Mhm.
Or getting in positions to score them.
I think that's the frustration. The frustration is that we were good right up until that final third, and whether it was Chris Cadden. I mean, we spoke about it for almost the whole time that Cadden's been here. He never finds a Hibs man with a cross. It's like once
Yeah.
in a fucking blue moon he gets an assist, and he got into some good positions, and his crossing was bad. Yuan got into some good positions, and his final pass was bad, or he missed the ball altogether. Bowie wasn't in the box enough to get on the end of anything. It was just like I thought the tempo, the setup was good for that first 25 minutes. But John, the goal that we concede, it's amateur stuff as well, isn't it?
Aye,
I do
do
get to
you know,
say,
I'm
can I
reluctant to
remember
do,
there, John?
If we concede,
I'm gonna say that I'm not gonna describe it as amateur because I've never played at any sort of level. So I think it would be unfair of me to describe it as amateur.
Even if
What I would say,
even if it's just a phrase, like just coining
what
a
I would
phrase.
say, however, is it was very similar to other goals where it was a simple cross. We've lost the runner. Rangers players been unchallenged, and it's a simple header at the back of the net. Salinger's been exposed, and Salinger I thought had a really good game in terms of his contribution, whether both in terms of distribution and shot stopping. But it was just that, and I think like without sort of blowing my own trumpet, I've talked about this in previous games, where we need to minimise the errors that we make. We need to be more clinical, and we need to stop that happening now at end. And that was the thing that undone us today or tonight. Because if we are more clinical with our passes, more direct, and the frustrating thing about that is like there were lots of other passes that we were making, and there were lots of like I thought quite clever little interchanges of play. So like just a Hibs runner, and then Hibs player plays the ball in between two Rangers player and Hibs are away. But the bit afterwards, like you've done the clever bit, and then the simple pass afterwards, that's where it breaks down, and it was quite frustrating.
And that like a lot of the time when we've had these games, Colin, the team and David Gray's come under a bit of criticism for being too negative with the setup, standing off them. But actually, for that first 25 minutes, we were first to everything. Like all the second balls were getting picked up by Hibs players. We were snapping into tackles. We were pressing with a bit of purpose when the ball came into the middle. It looked, very much like it was going to be a good night for us. And then we're undone by that, like a goal for nothing. So a ball into the box. We didn't defend it. And then as soon as Rangers had something to head on to, that was it. The game turned. How do the players get past that? Do you think? Like what is it about that sort of adversity that we can't seem to cope with?
I don't know. I mean, the goal though. I mean, like we're talking about the midfield and that we're pressing and sorry, I'm going to cough. I'm still carrying this fucking cold. The we just left that boy.
Mm-hmm.
How
We
much? I
did.
mean, how much space did he have to just put a simple wee ball in? And then that we didn't defend it well. Like I think the guy seemed to run off Hanley by the looks of it, but I've only seen it a couple of times. I don't know if Hanley was marking somebody else and the guy made another run and it was somebody else or not. I don't know. It looked like it ran off Hanley, and it looked like nobody in the midfield was anywhere near to closing that guy down. Like any replay I've seen it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know who the nearest Hibs player is because they're not in the shot. So it's just that's what disappointed me. But after that, I don't know. You're saying adversity. That was your question, eh? But it's
Aye.
like we let a goal in, and then it just felt like it felt to me. I know John saying they never hit their heads down, but it felt to me like that intensity just dropped off. You know, whether that's heads down or no, I don't know. But it just felt that they didn't. They lost a bit of fight
Mm-hmm. I think it
or
gave Rangers a
belief.
lift. Like
Yeah,
I think that is what had it gave them something to hold on to. But I don't think we actually troubled to keep him. A couple of shots for distance after that where we like at least got the ball uh, sort of goalwards. John, we did have one off the line where a header. It was the right decision. It wasn't over the line. There was no controversy there or anything, was there?
Pish, no, fuck it, it was in.
aye.
Can't believe it
Draw the
wasn't.
lines.
Or not?
No, it was a heathen at the back stick. It was probably one of the few decent deliveries I think that we've had. Maybe the other one was probably it's maybe a recency bias, but it was right at the end where Boyles tried to go for a wee bit of a. I don't know if he's tried to adjust his body and get some contact on it, but he's had a fresh air
Mhm.
Yuan-esque swipe at it.
Colin, one of the players that was getting a bit well, a lot of praise recently is Josh Mulligan, but he didn't have his best night tonight, did he?
No, no, he never. He did get involved now and again, and he did drive a few times. But I thought I don't know. I don't know if all that the speculations impacted him or not. Folk always say that, and I always go, aye, it's the Daily Record definitely putting that story in there to affect. But he didn't. He wasn't as good this week. But then, do you know what? Like bringing Barlaser back in upset that dynamic a wee bit.
Hmm.
When he was at his best, the Barlaser wasn't beside him, and he had McGrath out to the left rather than McGrath in front. So maybe we shouldn't have changed that. But that's hindsight, innit? Like, although I was thinking it before the game, so it's not really hindsight. But I don't know if it would have made any difference. But it just felt like, well, that worked. Because I actually thought, right, you know, I've been sort of singing Abita's praises this season. I didn't think he had a good game tonight at all. So I don't know. McGrath was good out there last week. Why did they not just do it again?
Aye, I wonder if there's John, an argument that you'd expect Rangers to be a bit stronger down their right hand side than Falkirk were, so maybe bringing in Abita and Iredale to be a bit stronger defensively rather than relying on McGrath out there was the thinking there.
I assume that's what it was, and I'm sort of leaning on our, I'm going to call it an interview with John Hughes.
Yeah.
When John Hughes talked to us for 45 minutes, he mentioned some of the thought
Longer than that.
processes that he goes through when he was, putting a team together. Why he doesn't like five at the back, for example. And there's a balance to be found. Like if Gray goes with the same team as he went last week, and we get beat 1-0 or we get beat heavier, then folk are saying, well, why the fuck have you got McGrath on the left? He's not a left wing back. That's the nature of the beast, and I think Hughes alluded to that too. I can't remember his exact words, but it was almost like that's football.
Aye, well, that's what football folks say. But I don't know. I mean, I was disappointed in Mulligan a wee bit. He wasn't the worst. He wasn't the worst player by any means, but I just think it's a big stage for him. Sorry, John, big stage for him, right? I'm not bothered about the transfer speculation, but he's what to get in the Scotland squad for the World Cup. He's not in it yet. He's playing against a guy who got in the squad ahead of him the last time, and the boy was better than him, wasn't he?
I was going to say that I was almost surprised at when Mulligan came in for some criticism, because I thought he was almost like not quite the golden boy, but he is getting a lot of plaudits at the moment. But I thought he had a good game up to the final third. Like, I thought he did a lot of there was a lot of good movement. Some of the stuff that I described earlier about that clever little run to receive the pass. It was the bit afterwards that let him, as well as the rest of the team, down. Just couldn't he quite find? Just couldn't. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was like the surface, and what I mean is, like, I don't know whether it was like too slick or not slick enough. Like, it was just the ball was kind of sticking for them in a way that it didn't seem to be sticking for the opposition.
Well, I will say, like, in one of the chats we're all in, actually, Matthew, you said, why are we looking for negatives in the first half? Because people are like automatically trying to single out players, like I've just done, I suppose, now. And it's like, but in the first half we done all right until the goal. We were doing fine. We were doing, quite well. But we're automatically I was going to say as a fan base. I'm not speaking for everybody, but it feels like we're building ourselves up before the game, going, but we've got to beat them the next. They're shite. And you're like, they just won like 7 out of their last 9 and drew the other 2. We're just disregarding every other result they get. And then we didn't play well, and we go, right, he's shite, he's shite, he's shite, the formation shite, the manager shite, and that's like it's like this constant negativity that it's a wee bit frustrating. But I'm starting to like see all these subs. Like, I don't know, I'm a bit over the place here, but see all these subs. I was a wee bit like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we're just switching players about the place. It was like a youth game or something. They go, right, you go over the right back now, right? You, no, I am fucking 3 in midfield. No, 2-4-2-3-1. No, 4-4-2, 4-2-4, whatever. It was a wee bit like, what the fuck are we doing? We're just bringing players on. With no real, I don't know, purpose or thought.
Aye, it was like a Hail Mary, wasn't it? Just like chuck everything at it and hope for the best.
Do you think it was like, so? My perception of the game overall, like, I know that you described earlier, like the first 25 minutes, like the intensity, for example, but I thought that we were still in the game right up until the final whistle went. And I wonder if the changes that you're talking about, the players that Gray put on, was with an effort and with a design's maybe too strong a word, but with the intention to try and win the game, to try and get an attacking player, a creative player, whatever it happened to be, rather than say, well, we're getting beat 1-0, let's just stick defenders on. Like, I think he's still trying to win the game, even up
Of course
and
he
up
is,
to the.
yeah. I mean, there's no question that he was trying to affect the game and trying to win it, and we finished with like a really attacking looking side, like the goalie's going up and everything at the last minute. We definitely tried to get a goal back, but it's just like. I suppose the question is, like, how thought out was it? Like, did we have a plan for going 1-0 down? And if we needed to chase the game, or was it a case of like, right, what have we got? And you know what? To be fair to Gray, I mean, looking at the comments here, right? So Rob Morris said the radio said Boyle was out ill most of the week and only made one training session. Same as Cleege, Ewan had apparently impressed in training. So if we're going to the bench and all we've got there is like folk who haven't been able to train because they're ill and they're not 100%, then maybe that chucks the plans out the window, doesn't it? Like maybe that's like you go, well, we'll go. We've got a way to play. We'll stay in the game as long as we can. And then if we have to bring these boys on and chuck a Hail Mary, then that's what we'll do. And but sometimes, again, I guess that's football as well. John, Stephen Skinner said we're playing the most boring football in this league. Can't beat the worst Rangers team I've ever seen. Right. Colin, you looked at the shots on target. I think we had 4 shots and 1 on target in the first half. I never saw the full time figures, but there wasn't loads. Was it a boring display? Do you think?
I was a bit bored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was. I thought the game was we'll try and get over the top for the fast guys up the front, or knock it up to Bowie, and hopefully he can win a foul. You know what I mean? Because, I was a bit bored. It was 3 shots on target we had in the game.
Right.
8 in total, but 3 on target.
John, what about you? You have a lower boredom threshold than some. How did you find it?
That sounds like you're accusing me of having like ADHD or something. Like, oh, fucking.
No, not at all.
Genuinely, I was not bored watching that game. I thought it was reasonably end-to-end. I thought both teams had chances. Both teams had, I'm not going to say spells of pressure, but there were times where Hibs got forward and put them, and could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I wasn't bored, and like I take the point of.
What I mean, John, sorry to butt in there, but what I mean is that we weren't like peppering their goal with shots or creating loads of chances. We maybe had possession high up the pitch. We weren't doing anything with it. We'd done, I don't know, 3, 4 of they fucking throw-ins again.
They're just quit them, eh? Just stop it.
You know,
like, I think I understand what you mean, but that probably reflects what we're saying about that, like, and what we've said about the challenges that we've had in the final third. Like, we just couldn't make a pass stick. We couldn't get a shot away.
Aye.
So, but I wasn't bored up until that point, and I was frustrated from that point.
Mm-hmm. I think it's one of these ones. Like, see if we're peppering their goal with chances, and you can sometimes sense like a goal's coming here. We've got them on the ropes. We just need something to kind of drop to us and go in. It never felt like that all night. I reckon we could still be playing now, and not be looking at like scoring. It was one of those that just lacked like the proper excitement, I suppose. Kenny said we really lack quality and depth, and Mulligan was poor. I wonder why. Robert Sterling said, what did we make of a beta first half? So we did kind of speak about a beta, but I thought not just the first half, I thought the full game he looked off it. John, a beta will be going away to the to AFCON. I think he would just want to get through the game without getting injured, or do you think that doesn't come into a player's thinking?
But you're saying that maybe influenced his performance, try to come away injury free. That's a terrible accusation.
It's not an accusation. It was a question. It was questioned asked without prejudice.
No, I think his crossing was a wee bit poor. I actually was kind of interested more on the opposite side of the pitch in Chris Cadden, because he lasted almost the whole game, I think, before getting replaced. And it made me wonder, like, what was so different about his performance and who he was up against tonight compared to his. Well, actually, I know the difference tonight. He didn't have a stomach upset tonight. He's obviously stayed away for the rest of the squad.
He wasn't booked. Is the difference. In the first game, he got booked early doors and was getting run at tonight.
Getting a bit harem scarum.
Aye, he never. Kieran said, if there was a fence, I'm almost on the side of Gray has run his race. I can't for the life of me understand why he took Mulligan out of midfield. Joe Newell looked fucking miles off it. Miles. And Robert said, also thought Bowie was far too backwards today. Yep, I thought he was too deep as well. John McEwen said, going to struggle to finish in top 6. So we've seen this at like a few places tonight. I'm not quite sure what league position we're in, but we are going in the wrong direction. We're in 5th. I know Aberdeen went level with us on points with their win at the weekend and a game in hand. So, what do you think? Like, so we're a good chunk into the season just now. Are we a top 6 side? Do you think? Like, come season end, is that where we'll be?
Aye, but not the top end of that top six is where we are. We're fifth, right? They've got the game in hand. We're about halfway through the season. What was it? 38 games we play. What's this? 17 in, so kicking the arse off it. The teams below us in the league, the bottom six, are the teams we beat.
Aye.
Falkirk, St Mirren, Dundee, Kilmarnock, Livingston. Right? That's the teams that we have been beaten. The teams that are in the top six with us are the ones that we're struggling against. So I think we're going to be bottom of that top six.
John, what about you?
Well, where do I think we'll finish, or sorry, the question is about will we be a top six side?
Aye.
I don't know. I think when we did our season prediction way back at the start, I think I suggested that we would maybe finish fifth. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember exactly. Fifth seems like something I would say.
Mhm.
And I think there's still a good bit of the season to go. I think there's still the transfer window to open and close. Malky Mackay to make his move. So, nah, I'm gonna remain optimistic and say that we'll still finish top six, fifth or higher.
Okay, look. Callum said Yuan's second starts in Boxing Day. What did people expect? Bowie's work rate was unreal tonight. Really feel for him, and that is one thing you get, John. Like we're obviously kind of picking out the more negative side of Bowie's play, which is coming too deep and not being in the box. But he put a power of work in tonight, and he definitely wasn't found wanting for effort, was he?
No, I wonder if it was maybe part of a game plan to get Bowie a bit deeper, because I think what he did when he came deeper was quite effectual at times in terms of because he's a battling player. I wouldn't say he's awkward, but he's not. He doesn't give up easily.
Hmm.
And there was a few times where he's definitely got stuck in and he's come away with the ball or he's won a foul or whatever. I take the point about being in the box and uh, and scoring goals rather than bringing other players into the play. But one of the challenges we had was actually getting the ball forward into the box for him or for Ewan or whatever. So, uh, aye, he's. I mean, it's the only thing that was missing. God, I'm saying the only. The thing that was missing from his game tonight was a goal, but that was something that was missing for the whole Hibs side. I think he'll probably play a more advanced roles in other games.
Hmm. Okay. Barney Rubble said garbage, no pace in the team, no threat from the wide area, and it's like pinball whenever a ball goes in our box. Colin, I posted similar on the on the chat. It's like panic stations sometimes when a cross comes in, and we've got three experienced centre halves playing there, right? We kind of talked off podcast about Hibs' tactical approach to defending a few weeks back, and we sort of posed the idea that we might be kind of quite happy to know press teams or get tackles and just defend the box because of the quality but we've got in there. But it was like fucking hear him scare him at times tonight, wasn't it?
Aye. It's a funny one, because like we at times I've been, I think, saying how good Hanley is or how good Iredale is, or I've mentioned them all at some point over the last season or year. But as a sort of collective, we let shitey goals, isn't he? Like, and so individually they're maybe good at stuff and they catch the eye by a last ditch tackle or something or whatever. But we let fucking goals like that in all the time. Like we just leak shitey crosses into a box, and it's not all their fault. But their job is to then defend it if the cross gets in. Now, I think we could do a better job, like I've already said, of trying to not let the cross come in. But if the tactic is let them cross it in, we'll header it away. They need to fucking header it away.
Aye.
Because we just gave that boy all the time in the world to put it in the area.
John Rob Morris said on a plus note, Salinger, excellent again. He is a real keeper, isn't he? Like he's time and time again showing his quality, isn't he?
I think if McGrath ever finds himself injured or if we're ever lacking a creative player in the final third, we should put him up there because some of his passes are tremendous. And shot stopping's pretty good as well. I know that he can't do that if he's playing number 10, for example. But he's a pretty dependable figure. Touch wood between the sticks.
Shanklin T96 with Hearts badges his emblem here. He said, "Do you mind that time we went in administration and never paid for our poppies?" Yes, we all remember that, Shanklin. You
Never
should be
forget.
fucking ashamed of yourself. Never forget it. Ian Mackay said, "Strikers have to finish chances, but they also have to create their own." Colin, this is a problem as well, isn't it? Like about the quality of chances. Like, so we talk about Bowie not getting in the box, but actually, even if he was in the box, there's none arriving there for him.
No, that's it. Like, but so I don't think Obita or Cadden got across in the box tonight. And then we could have complained and says, well, Bowie's not there. But I'm just looking at going, well, like, he wouldn't have got an end anyway. But actually, it was like we weren't even trying to do that.
Aye.
We just don't create. We just didn't create. And I hate to talk about chances created, but our numbers on the chances created tonight were fucking rubbish. It's like 0.3 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really, really bad. Like, we done fuck all. We created nothing. The Hora one off the line. Johan had the shot outside the box on his weak foot that went straight to the keeper. Kind of mind. Kind of care.
Mulligan had one that was
Mulligan
Daisy.
shot. Aye.
Straight down the
I don't
keeper's
know if
throat
you'd
as
call
well,
it
wasn't it?
Daisy cut. It was maybe like Daisy roller. It was a wee bit tame.
Ian Mackay made that point, sir. 3 shots on target, included 2 trundlers, but I think it might actually have been 3. Oh no, the other one was the header that was cleared off the line. Hibs 91 said great out. There's going to be noise about that again, right? So it's no starting here, right? From us as a podcast, obviously we've got a duty to read out what folks send in to us.
Are you being
Um,
mischievous with your implications again?
You know where I was going with this, John? Yogi talked about it last night about how long Hibs managers last, right? And we are at that time, aren't we? In Gray's reign. So it's like
Finish third, get
Is it
restless.
a self-fulfilling prophecy where you like, because it's happened a few times with Hibs managers, because it was 16 months Yogi got when he was in charge of Hibs, and for a while there the average was about 18 months. And it might still be that. I think since Alec Miller lost his job, it's been 18 months on average, and we're getting to that point in time. So are we now going, well, we just want to change? Is this almost like the cars and PCP deals where you're like, oh fuck, I just want a new
that
motor?
was the reason I asked you that particular question on that particular point, because personally speaking, I have no desire to see us change the manager at all. I don't think we're at that stage, but we see the comments coming in, and it's no. We always say it's no for us to say who's right or who's wrong with it. Our opinion isn't any more important or valid than anybody else that sends an opinion in. Obviously, other than Shanklin's, like he can fuck off. But but generally speaking, like the Hibs fans, if they think he should go, it's as valid as saying he shouldn't. So I don't have any problems with folk voicing it. But we're at that sort of time when folk who are looking for a change, if the results aren't great, that noise builds and builds and builds, and it builds quickly. So it feels like you kind of need to get back on track. And probably the next couple of games are really important for that, Colin.
Absolutely right. See, because what have we got? Dundee United Saturday and Hearts the week after.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't win at Dundee United
Saturday, after that as well.
Aye, if we didn't win, if we did get a result at Tannadice on Saturday, the pressure's going to be massive going into the derby. Not just because it's a derby, because folk already stress out about a derby no matter what. Like, so then, like, it comes on to talk about must wins. It's like they'd be calling for his head if they didn't win. That's what happens. We've seen it before.
Big games, hard places to go. It's a tricky period to navigate.
And we've moaned about in the past about the board being trigger happy and all that, but I think as a fan base, we do fall into that trap. We've done it with Jack Ross. We've done it with Jack Ross, right? Third place, boom. Yogi, fourth, boom. Fuck, out you go. As soon as you lose 8 games or something, 7 games, whatever it is, like whatever's bad enough doesn't matter what you done last year. Fucking no good enough this year. You'll no turn it round. And here we are again. You get a manager that does well in season 1, and then, I mean, he's in fair enough. He's halfway through this season, but it is often the way. If we have a good season, we sack our manager the year after.
Aye. Okay, right. Well, Lewis Patterson said, "Don't think I've dreaded a derby this much in a long time. I expect Hearts to score a good few with a performance like that." See, I think it depends who gets the first goal, right? I think the first goal will be massive in the derby, and probably the same against Dundee United. I think if it goes against us, we'll be in bother. But Rangers' best chances tonight came after they were a goal up and we were chasing the game. I didn't see anything for Rangers. I thought we were going to concede a load of goals against them. Kieran said other teams enjoy playing against us. As I said the other day, Yogi broke down all the faults of a back five when we went 1-0 down. You've seen all the faults. Barney said never replace Charlotte or Miller, and it stands out a mile. Ian said, I don't think the heads went down. I think the subs changed the dynamics. So they had to restart the intensity, and Mulligan was outplayed by Barron. John said, even lads, nothing to add that hasn't already been said. Just the usual, this again feeling of watching us at Ibrox. Ewan said, we're the better team for most of the game, but not clinical in terms of passing or goal attempts. I thought we were the better team for the first half. I thought Rangers were the better team in the second half. Like, I thought we just didn't lay a glove on them. Like, what do you think, John? Is it fair to say we were the better team over 90?
That's a good question. No,
Were we the better team over
were we
90?
the better team over 90 minutes?
That's just Ewan's point. Is we were the better team for most of the game, so maybe not the 90, but for most of the game is what Ewan said.
And how
I
would you
just go
measure
back to
that?
what I was just going to go back to what I said earlier. Like, I thought we were in the game up until the final whistle went. But I can acknowledge as well that we could have played for another 15, 20,
Right.
30, 40 minutes
Aye.
and never scored.
So possession stats, so what, right? They got a wee bit more than us, not much in it. They got 19 shots to our 8. They had 8 on target to our 3. They had 2 saves for a keeper compared to our 7. What the XG was something like 2.3 versus 0.37, right?
So,
What metric are we using to say we were a better team?
I didn't think we were the better team. Ian said, I thought we defended well enough and agree with what Colin just said about Mulligan. Big stage for him. But tell Colin that's not how you wear glasses.
Is that what he's saying? Or are you telling me that? You do when you're my fucking age. This is back to the very, very focal chat.
That is. Kieran said if we get beat off Dundee United, Gray will be fighting for his job against Hearts. This team is far better than mid-table. Is it though, John? Right, so David Gray's getting the criticism because you're the champion of the underdog. David Gray's getting the criticism because there is a view that the squad is a top 3, top 4 squad. So with that context, is the criticism of Gray justified?
Are you asking me as champion of the
I'm
underdog?
asking you as champion of the underdog. There's a very specific answer I'm looking for here, just because that's what the setup is. Like, we practiced and rehearsed over many years, right? No, we'll move on. Right.
No, it's not justified.
I think it's a fair point, right? Like, or has Colin, has people's or have people's assessment of the squad been overstated? And have folk got too high an opinion of the squad and we're not as good as folk thought?
Individually, so back to my point about the defence, individually, I think we've got good individual players. I just don't think they're playing as a team or as, I don't think it's a cohesive unit, right? Whether that's the way they're coached, the way they're being asked to play, the tactics, the formation, I don't know. Individually, I think we've got good players. And a good, like, on paper, every week you go, it's a strong bench. And then they come on and you go, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, so I think it must be down to that. What are we asking them to do, or what we're telling them to do?
Ewan said midfield were okay, but final pass was consistently poor. So many potential forward runs were snuffed out. I think that's spot on as well. Barney Rubble said, Ian, we didn't defend well. We struggled to clear the ball on numerous occasions and could have conceded 4 by the final whistle. Ewan liked the subs. It was changing things as we'd been shite in the second half. J Star said, still no wins against the top 6. How long has Gray got left at this rate, not getting top 6? Joe said Hibs need to give Clegy a decent run at long last. He may be the answer to our problems in the final third. I think if we're accepting the explanation that Clegy was back off an illness and an injury, it's probably fair enough that he started on the bench, John. But now that he's been back in the team, would you like to see him get an extended run?
Yes. I'm trying to, sorry, bear with me while I try and organise my thoughts. I think, so the question 2 or 3 comments ago was about, this is a top 3, top 4 squad. How do you determine that? Like, is it a top 3 or 4 squad if they've finished top 3 or 4? Like how do you measure that that a squad is top 3 or 4?
Where they finish in the league?
But
at the start of the season. So at the start of the season, you're guessing, isn't it? Like, you sort of base it on what you know about the players and what you know about the other teams, and then what the YouTube clips tell you your new signings, unless you already know
Aye.
about them. Do you know, like, and then
So
you put it all together.
and there have, but aye. So last season we had a squad that finished third. Oh
Third,
fuck, what did we do? Third.
we finished
Aye.
third, aye.
Jesus Christ, how did I forget that? I'm gonna get pelters. Um, but there have been changes. So we lost Triantis.
Uh-huh.
We've made a change in the back three. We've started playing Hanley. So there's little variables that have changed throughout the team. We brought in Cliche, for example. Should he see more game time? Probably, but it's going to require a change in the team. And that change doesn't automatically mean better. And that's always my reluctance when we
Mhm.
talk about changing a manager. Like it needs to be, and Gray won't get this opportunity. It needs to be sort of like carefully thought out and like the risks and what have you balanced and saying, right, are we like how are we fitting Cliche into the team? Is it at the expense of Boyle or are we going to play the two of them? And
Mhm.
if we play the two of them, how does that impact the midfield? And if we have to change the midfield, how does that impact the defense? Like all those things need to be thought out and planned through. It's like,
Now,
and that's why it's a difficult question to answer about.
aye.
Like you can be frustrated about Boyle, for example, like not hitting the same heights as he has previously, but Cliche Cliche's opportunities have been limited, and it's kind of like a catch-22. Well, he doesn't have the body of evidence to say that he should get a game ahead of Boyle, for example, but he doesn't build up that body of evidence unless he gets a start.
Aye. And there is a school of thought that we signed Cliche on a multi-year contract. It didn't necessarily have to be nailing down a starting lineup, a starting position this season because we're not going to have Boyle necessarily next season. There's a bit of talk about him leaving in January potentially, but certainly his contract is up at the end of next season. So it could be that this is like Cliche's breaking in season, and then next season is he's the main guy. That was one sort of line of thinking when he first signed. Right, going to just rattle through a few comments because there's really busy on the YouTube comments tonight. So just to catch up, and obviously if you're watching, hit the like button, please, because that does help us out. Jay Anderson said, "So one-dimensional going forward. Same boring football and heartless performance. Grey question marks." Sean said, "Same passive pedestrian football. Shite to watch." Alan Eldon said, "6 games against Hearts, Celtic, Huns. Scored one penalty. There's your big problem." Ewan said, "Changing manager would be self-defeating." Liam said, "I think so. David Gray needs 7 points from the next 3 games against United, Hearts, and Aberdeen. Otherwise, he'll be under big pressure, especially if we lose the derby." Sean said, "Why is Cadden still a right wing back? He's not good enough." I think that's a recruitment issue, isn't it? Like we knew that Miller was probably going to go in the summer, and we didn't sign for that position, or we signed and we just didn't want to play the boy Mitchell for whatever reason. Um, so that's why Cadden's still there. Uh, Kieran said, "Can't wait to play Dundee United with Boyle and Hoyle at wing back." Ewan said Ardie was badly positioned a few times, too slow to pass off him, but were all his defensive teammates way too slow. Chris said Gray and the squad's inability to change when the game goes against them is also slightly alarming. And Rob said, "Re Gray, a lot of folk have short memories. Look at the last few managers. At least there's some stability with Gray. Need another striker and a new right back in the next window." This, I suppose, is probably the strongest argument for not making any changes is the fact that we've got a transfer window around the corner. We're a couple of weeks away for January. There's talk about London Dykes and uh, who was the other one that
Harry
Yogi
Clark.
says? Harry Clark. Thank you. His name totally escaped me there. Coming in, so both of those positions are ones that we want to fill. Harry Clark, I think, would be excellent at this level if we can keep him fit. Uh, John, is that like sort of the strongest argument, or one of the strongest arguments for sort of batting away any suggestion and making a change at the top at the minute?
The fact that we've got a transfer window on the
Mm.
horizon. Yeah, I think so. You mentioned Chris Cadden, right wing back, and there's no really an alternative there at the moment, or if there is, we're not playing it. So there's an opportunity there, like maybe behind the scenes, the club acknowledges that they haven't supported Gray there, but the other area of the pitch is up front. So when we were talking about Cliche before, you could chuck in Cliche just now, but there probably needs to be other changes or more choice up front because we're kind of limited, aren't we? We've got Boyle, Cliche, Bowie, Yuan, but Yuan's been out for quite a while, so aye, I think there maybe needs to be a wee bit more variety up front because I think we've got three pacey guys there, but you've got Bowie kind of battering folk about by himself.
Mm.
Maybe I don't know if it's a different type of player or a different player with different qualities. But I would, I'm not thinking that Gray should be going anytime soon. I would let him have this transfer window, the transfer window after that. I will never, ever demand his removal.
And we're not asking you to that, but isn't it? Like, these are the leading questions. Like, I kind of used to have trauma from the Montgomery conversations, and we're not putting you in that position again. Colin, is it just the right back and the striker that we need, or if you were Gray, would you be going with a bigger shopping list to Malky Mackay?
So back to what I was just saying. Sorry, I've got this cold. It's got my throat there. I think individually we've got good players, right? And I just don't know if we've not got them playing the right way. So I don't know how many players we need. We need another striker, definitely, and we definitely need cover at right back. I don't know. We need to change. Like, we don't need any more midfielders, right? We've plenty centre backs. So we get the two positions, but then what? We just got to play the same way.
Aye, well,
That's the thing. We need to change the way we're playing. We need to try something different.
Chris F has pretty much asked that question. His thoughts on persisting with the 3-5-2. Would you change? And I think we can't really change them. I think that's the problem. I think the squad fits that system, and when we try to go a 4-4-2, we're taking players out of position. So I think we need to sign to be able to adapt. Like, I think that's where the biggest issue is, and that is a recruitment issue as well. Okay, right. Listen, Colin, because your voice is going, we've been on almost an hour, like about 50 minutes, and it's time to get to bed soon, I think. We will wrap up. Thanks to everybody who sent comments in. We haven't even looked at the Twitter to see if we had any talking points for there. There was some cracking ones came in through the course of the game, so apologies to that. If we missed it, we will have the phone in on Wednesday night as well. So if you're a subscriber, either on YouTube or as one of our members or on Patreon, we'll post up the dial-in details for that. So we'd love to get you on. Ian and I had a great conversation last Friday. But it's generally better when there's a few more bodies in there as well. So back to the Wednesday night this week. So do join us if you can. The Zoom details will be there. Everybody's welcome. And then we'll have the preview show for the Dundee United game on Friday, but it'll be back to us three. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you all next time.